Have you ever looked at someone who seemed calm, capable, and put together, and thought that their life must be so much easier than yours? And have you ever thrown out a careless comment, a cold look, or a sharp reply, ever realizing that, for the person on the receiving end, that one moment might be the final straw on a heart that was already breaking? Welcome back to the channel, my friend. Thank you for being here, for pressing play, and for giving yourself a few moments of quiet reflection in the middle of your busy, unpredictable, and sometimes overwhelming life. Today, we are going to walk together into a gentle but powerful truth. A truth that carries wisdom from spiritual practice, Buddhist compassion, and everyday human experience. It is a truth that can change the way you speak, the way you look at others, and ultimately, the way your destiny unfolds. That truth is contained in a single sentence from a Dharma teacher known as Master GX1, a sentence that has quietly comforted countless hearts and stopped many people from crossing the edge of collapse. The sentence is simple when translated into English: do not carelessly hurt anyone, because no one has it easy. At first glance, it sounds like an ordinary reminder, but if you sit with it, if you really let the words sink into your daily life, you begin to realize that behind this gentle sentence stands an entire universe of understanding about suffering, karma, compassion, and awakening. Think about how we usually look at the world. We see the surface of people's lives. We see the clean clothes, the polite smile, the casual conversations in public. We see the social media posts, the celebrations, the successes, and without meaning to, we start to assume that we can judge who is doing well and who is not. We label someone as strong, someone else as weak, someone as lazy, someone as fortunate. We look at small pieces of their lives and build entire stories about who they are. But what if almost every story you silently tell yourself about others is incomplete? What if, behind the cool expression, there is a person who cries quietly in the bathroom at work? What if behind that colleague who seems distracted in meetings, there is a parent who has not slept properly for months because they are caring for a sick child? What if behind the rude customer, the impatient driver, the distant partner, there is a heart that is not evil but exhausted, weighed down by pressures and grief you know nothing about? You never truly know what someone else is carrying. And that is exactly why a sentence like "do not carelessly hurt anyone, because no one has it easy" can act like a sudden light in the dark. It is not just a moral slogan. It is an invitation to wake up from the illusion that you can accurately judge another person's life from the outside. It is a reminder that, in a world shaped by endless causes and conditions, we are all walking with invisible burdens. Imagine a young man named Daniel. On the surface, Daniel looks like the kind of person others envy. He has a stable job in a big city, dresses neatly, and always shows up on time. His colleagues joke that he is the reliable one, the quiet, dependable coworker who never seems to lose his temper. But what nobody at the office knows is that every night, after he returns home, he takes care of his aging father who is slowly losing his memory. His father sometimes wakes up in the middle of the night, confused and frightened, calling for people who passed away long ago. Daniel has to calm him down, help him to the bathroom, sit by his bed until he falls asleep again. Because of this, Daniel rarely sleeps through the night. He lives with constant worry about money, about his father's condition, about the future. When he comes into the office in the morning, he moves as if everything is normal, because he believes that no one would understand if he told the truth. One day, after a particularly difficult night, he arrives late to work for the first time. There was a minor emergency with his father, and he had to stay until a neighbor arrived to help. At the office, his manager looks at him with visible irritation and says in front of everyone, "I thought you were the responsible one. Looks like you are just like the others after all." Unreliable. Words are not shouted. The manager does not think of them as cruel. They are just said casually, as a way of expressing disappointment. To Daniel, they feel like a knife sliding into a place already bruised and sore. He stands there in silence, the weight of his father, his debts, his fear, and now this judgment pressing down on his chest. On the outside, nothing dramatic happens. He does not cry. He does not argue. He simply walks to his desk. Out inside, something in him crumbles a little more. He thinks, "No one sees how hard I am trying. No one knows how heavy this is." This is what Master Giaquazin's sentence is trying to protect us from. Not just big harms, not just obvious cruelty, but the small, casual ways we push people closer to the edge without realizing it. Sentence from out with impatience might be, to you, a tiny moment you forget in 5 minutes. To the other person, it might be the sentence that echoes in their mind for months. Spiritual practice, especially in traditions shaped by Buddhist wisdom, often talks about karma, about cause and effect. We are taught that every thought, every word, every action plants a seed in the field of our life and in the lives of others. When we speak carelessly, we may think the moment is over as soon as the sun fades, but the impact doesn't vanish. It lives on in the heart that received it. It lives on in the way that heart hardens or softens, in the way that person sees themselves and the world. So when a teacher like Master Jiexuan says, "Do not carelessly hurt anyone," it is not just for other people's sake. It is also for your own mind, your own future. Every time you choose not to wound someone, you are also choosing not to deepen the harshness in your own heart. You are creating a different destiny for yourself, one where compassion rather than cruelty becomes your habit. There is an old wisdom teaching that says you cannot see the storms in another person's ocean just by looking at the surface. If you stand on a cliff watching the sea from far above, the waves may look calm, gentle, almost still. You might feel that the ocean is peaceful today, but if you dive deep, you may discover powerful currents, turbulence, even silent whirlpools beneath the surface. People's lives are like that. We stand on the cliff of our own perspective and guess what is happening in someone else's ocean. We rarely dive into the depths of their experience, and often we cannot, because they do not show it. Sometimes, the kindest people you know are the ones who have walked through the darkest valleys. They know what it feels like to be ignored, judged, dismissed, or misunderstood. So they try not to treat others in those ways. Sometimes, the person who smiles the most is the one who has cried the most. Sometimes the person who always says, "It is okay, do not worry," is the one who has rarely heard those words spoken sincerely to them. Consider another story. This time of a woman named Elena. She works as a cashier at a small supermarket. Her job is repetitive, standing behind the counter for hours, scanning items, saying the same phrases over and over. People see her uniform, her tired eyes, and hardly think twice. One afternoon, when the line is long and everyone seems to be in a hurry, an older man becomes impatient. He complains loudly that the line is moving too slowly and blames Elena for not being efficient. He says something like, "How hard can it be to scan a few items? Maybe if you tried harder, things would move faster." The people behind him chuckle uncomfortably or look away. Owen knows that just that morning, Elena had sat in a hospital waiting room, holding her little daughter's hand, listening to a doctor explain a serious diagnosis. Owen knows that her heart is breaking, that she is working this job not out of laziness or lack of ambition, but because it is the only work she can find that fits around hospital appointments. When the mind froze his commentator, he is not trying to be evil, he is just a Ned, carried away by his own impatience, his own story. But his words lined on a heart already struggling to breathe. She swallows the hurt because she cannot afford to argue. She still has to finish her shift. She still has to smile at the next customer. But when she goes home that night, the sentence repeats in her mind. Imagine, instead, that the man in line had carried Master Jiaquazin's sentence in his heart. Imagine that when he felt the irritation rising, he paused for one breath and remembered, "Do not carelessly hurt anyone," because no one has it easy. He might still feel impatient. He might still wish the line would move faster. But instead of turning that feeling into a verbal arrowing at Ellen, he might choose to keep quiet or even to say, "You are doing your best. It is a busy day." That small act would not change the fact that Elena's daughter is sick. It would not erase the weight she carries, but it would not add another stone to the burden on your shoulders. Sometimes, Adding this tone is already an act of deep compassion. Sometimes, what saves a person is not a dramatic rescue but the simple kindness of not pushing them further down. The more you reflect on this, the more you see that the sentence "do not carelessly hurt anyone, because no one has it easy" is not only about refraining from harm, but about cultivating awareness. It is asking you to wake up from the dream that you are moving through a world of characters in your personal story, people whose lives revolve around your convenience or inconvenience. It is calling you to see others as real, complex beings with minds and hearts as full and fragile as your own. In Buddhist teachings, there is a strong emphasis on seeing through the illusion of a solid, separate self. When you look deeply, you realize that your life and the lives of others are intertwined. What you say to another inevitably comes back to shape your own mind. The anger you throw out does not just disappear after hitting its target. It leaves an imprint in you. The compassion you express does not vanish into thin air. It nourishes your own heart even as it softens someone else's. Esther Giaquasin's sentence is a simple doorway into this realization. Every time you catch yourself about to say something sharp, and you pause because you remember that you do not know what the other person is going through, you are practicing awareness. You are stepping out of autopilot and entering the field of conscious choice. You are, in a very real sense, practicing the path of awakening. Maybe, at this point, you are thinking about your own life. Maybe you remember a moment when someone said something that hurt you deeply, and they never knew. Or maybe you remember a time when you said something you regret. A moment when frustration or anger took over, and you watched the other person's face fall. It is uncomfortable to recall these moments, but this discomfort can be valuable. It is the beginning of wisdom. There was once a student who came to a teacher and said, "I try to be kind, but people still hurt me, and sometimes I explode back at them." The teacher did not scold or blame. Instead, the teacher said, "Imagine that every person is carrying an invisible pack on their back. In that pack are their worries, their traumas, their fears, their responsibilities, their loneliness. When they bump into you and it hurts, remember that it is not just them, but their pack too." This does not mean you must let them walk all over you, but it does mean you can respond with more understanding and less hatred. This is very much in harmony with what we are exploring. The invisible pack is another way of talking about the hidden stories and burdens that shape how people act. You do not have to approve of harmful behavior to understand that it comes from pain, ignorance, or confusion. Seeing this clearly can prevent you from adding your own sharpness to an already painful situation. Another angle from which to look at this is the teaching on cause and effect. When you hurt someone, even slightly, you might not see the ripple effect in that moment. Think about how your own day can be changed by just one interaction. If you are already tired, and someone cuts you off in traffic and then yells at you, how does that affect your mood? You might find yourself snapping at your children later, or being less patient with your coworkers. At one moment spreads its energy outward. Imagine the opposite. Imagine you are exhausted, struggling, feeling invisible and unappreciated, and then someone says to you, "I see how hard you are trying." That one sentence can bring tears to your eyes, can soften your heart, can make it possible for you to get through the rest of the day. These small moments of kindness and cruelty are not small at all. They are threads that weave the fabric of human life. Spiritual awakening is not only about sitting on a cushion or chanting sacred phrases. Those practices are important and powerful, but their true value is tested and expressed in daily life, in how you treat people who are difficult, in whether you let your frustration turn into violence or hold it with awareness until it settles. True practice is measured in how you talk to the person at the checkout counter, the delivery driver, the colleague who makes mistakes, the family member who repeats the same stories. Esther Giaquasin's sentence reminds us that the path of compassion is not far away, hidden in temples or mountains. It is right here, in your next conversation, your next message, your next reaction. When you choose not to add unnecessary pain to the world, you are already practicing. When you bring a little more gentleness into your tone, you are already walking the path. Let us explore one more story, a story about how a single sentence can keep someone from falling apart. There was a university student named Maya. She always seemed cheerful around her friends. She laughed loudly, made jokes, and helped others with their homework. People often said, "You are so strong. You are always happy. You are the one who lifts everyone's mood." But no one knew that when she went back to her dorm room alone, her smile fell away. I had grown up in a family where she felt she had to earn love through performance. She did well in school. If she never caused trouble, if she made everyone proud, then she was praised. She made mistakes. She was blamed harshly. Over the years, she learned to hide her fear and sadness behind a funny, confident mask. When she entered university, the pressure only increased. She held herself to impossible standards and felt crushing anxiety about grades, future plans, relationships, and family expectations. There were days when she felt as if you were standing on a narrow ledge, pretending to dance or trying not to fall. One semester, after a string of disappointments and sleepless nights, she failed an important exam. Inside, she was devastated, and the day she got the result, she walked across campus feeling like she was made of glass. Like one more blow would shatter her completely. On the way to class, she accidentally bumped into another student in the hallway. He frowned and said sharply, "Watch where you are going. What is wrong with you?" Words were not unusual. People say things like this all the time. But for Maya, who was already barely holding herself together, it felt like a verdict. Something is wrong with you. You are careless. You are a failure. These thoughts had already been whispering in your mind, and now it felt as if someone had confirmed them out loud. She spent the rest of the day in a fog, and that night, she seriously considered giving up on everything. Fortunately, around that time, he attended a talk by a Dharma teacher. He did not go because she was particularly religious. He went because a friend insisted, and she was too tired to argue. He sat at the back of the hall, ready to zone out. But then, in the middle of the talk, she heard the teacher say a sentence very similar to Master Jiaquazin's teaching. The teacher said, "You never truly know what others are going through. Do not use your words as knives." Single gentle sentence can hold a breaking heart together for one more day. Single harsh sentence can push someone from the edge into the abyss. When Maya heard this, it was as if someone had turned on a light inside her. You realized that the casual comment from the student in the hallway had felt so devastating because he was already on the edge. She understood that there are probably many people around her who are also walking on their own invisible ledges, smiling on the outside when shivering inside. After the talk, she approached the teacher and asked, "What should I do if I'm the one who feels like I'm falling apart?" The teacher looked at her with kind eyes and said, "First, you must stop talking to yourself like an enemy. Do not carelessly hurt yourself with your own words either. And, as much as you can, choose not to pass your pain on to others. Let the chain of harshness end with you. Be the one who turns suffering into understanding." These words, too, saved her in a quiet way. It did not change her grades or erase her past, but they gave her a new way to hold her pain. She began to see that every day she chose not to hurt herself or others further, she was already practicing a very deep form of compassion. We often focus on dramatic stories of salvation, moments where someone is pulled back from a bridge or rescued from a crisis. Those stories are important and real, but more often, lives are saved quietly, 1 ounce of kindness at a time, 1 less harsh sentence at a time, 1 moment of patience instead of blame. Heart is not only saved when it is pulled from a physical danger, it is also saved when the weight of shame, loneliness, and judgment is lightened just enough for it to keep beating. From the perspective of karma, every moment you choose kindness, you are changing your future. You are turning away from cycles of harm and building a different momentum. From the perspective of wisdom, every moment you remember that you cannot see the whole story of another person, you are stepping out of ignorance and entering clarity. From the perspective of compassion, every moment you refuse to add unnecessary pain to this already suffering world, you are walking in the footsteps of Bodhisattvas, beings who choose to stay close to suffering, not to judge it, but to heal it. Think back over your day today. How many people did you interact with? The person who handed you coffee, the coworker who sent you an email, the family member who messaged you, the stranger on the street. Each of them has a life just as complex as yours. Each of them has memories, hopes, regrets, and silent fears. Each of them is carrying something heavy, even if that heaviness is not visible in their expression. If you had known exactly what they were carrying, when you have spoken to them differently, would you have been a little softer, a little more patient, a little more respectful? Most of us would say yes, but since we cannot know all their stories, Master Jiaquazin's wisdom suggests a simple solution: treat everyone as if they might be struggling, because there is a very good chance they are. This does not mean letting people abuse or manipulate you. Compassion does not ask you to erase your boundaries or endure ongoing harm. In fact, true compassion includes wisdom. And wisdom knows when to step back, when to say no, when to protect yourself. But even when you step back, you can do so without hatred. You can say no without stabbing the other person with words. You can set a boundary without cursing their existence. There is also an inner dimension to this teaching that is easy to overlook. Do not carelessly hurt anyone includes you. You are also a person. You are also carrying invisible burdens. Often do you speak to yourself in ways you would never speak to someone you love. Often do you call yourself stupid, useless, ugly, incapable. Often do you replay mistakes again and again in your mind, as if you deserve to be punished forever. If Master Jiaquan were sitting across from you right now, perhaps he would say, do not carelessly hurt yourself either, because you too do not have it easy. You too are walking through a world of constant change, trying to navigate expectations, fears, and responsibilities. You too deserve the gentleness you are so quick to give others. In Buddhist practice, there is an emphasis on loving kindness, a quality of the heart that wishes for all beings to be safe, happy, and free from suffering. When you extend this wish to yourself and others, you are aligning with the very same spirit as the sentence we have been exploring. Do not carelessly hurt anyone. Instead, when possible, become a source of shelter. Imagine what your life might look like if you really lived this way. Perhaps your relationships would become less tense. Perhaps people would feel safe around you, more willing to be honest. Perhaps you would feel lighter inside, because you are no longer carrying the weight of guilt for words spoken in anger. Perhaps your own destiny, shaped by your choices, would slowly shift toward more supportive conditions. And imagine what our world might look like if even a small percentage of people decided to take this sentence seriously. Your children would grow up with harsh voices ingrained in their minds. Your elderly people would feel invisible and disrespected. Your strangers would leave shops, offices, and buses feeling more wounded than when they entered. We cannot control the whole world, but we can begin with our own small circles. We can start with the next conversation, the next difficult moment, the next impulse to attack. Every time you interrupt that impulse with awareness and choose a different response, you are living the heart of this teaching. As we come to the closing part of this sharing, I want to speak to you gently, directly, as if you and I are sitting in a quiet room, talking as friends. You might be someone who has been hurt many times, who knows exactly how much damage a few words can do. You might be someone who has hurt others and now carries regret. You might be both. Most of us are both. If you have been hurt, I want you to know that your pain is real. You are not overly sensitive. The things people say, especially when spoken from positions of authority or closeness, to leave marks. But your pain does not define your worth. There is still a part of you that is larger than the wounds, a part that is capable of compassion, wisdom, and transformation. If you have hurt others, I want you to know that regret can be a doorway. You cannot go back and unsay things, but you can allow the memory of those moments to deepen your understanding, to make you more careful, more humble, more kind from this day on. You can apologize where possible, and where it is not, you can dedicate your changed behavior as a silent apology to life itself. One of the most beautiful forms of practice is when someone who has been deeply hurt decides not to pass that hurt on. They say to themselves, the pain stops with me. Will not become the mouth through which more poison flows. Will try to become a mouth through which healing words are spoken instead. Such a person becomes a quiet guardian in the world. someone who knows how much suffering there is and therefore chooses not to increase it. So let us hold this sentence from Master GX1 in our hearts as we step back into our lives. You not carelessly hurt anyone, because no one has it easy. Remember it when you are tired and tempted to snap. Remember it when someone cuts in front of you. Remember it when a colleague makes a mistake. Remember it when a family member repeats a habit you dislike. Remember it when you talk to yourself. You never know what others are carrying, but you always know what you are about to say or do. In that moment, you can choose to be one more source of pain or a small source of relief. The choice, again and again, becomes your path, your practice, your destiny. If today's reflection has resonated with you, if it has reminded you of your own experiences, I warmly invite you to share your story in the comments. You never know, who might be reading in silence, feeling alone, and then see your words and realize that there is someone out there who understands. Your story, your honesty, might be the sentence that saves another heart in a quiet, invisible way. And if you feel that this kind of content supports you, helps you reflect, and opens your heart even a little, please consider subscribing to the channel, giving this video a like, and leaving a comment to let the platform know that this is worth sharing with more people. If you wish to support more deeply, you can also consider joining as a member, helping us continue to create a space where spiritual wisdom and real human stories meet. Thank you, truly, for listening all the way to the end, for allowing these words to touch your life. You walk gently, speak carefully, and remember that behind every face is a story you cannot fully see. You be treated with the same kindness you are learning to offer others. And may this one simple sentence accompany you like a lamp in your daily path, guiding you to become a person whose presence heals more than it harms.
There comes a time when you realize you want something that belongs just to you, something that brings comfort and keeps you connected to your inner world. Wall-crafted bracelet does exactly that. Quietly, softly, and consistently. If you felt drawn to any bracelet in this video, you'll find the purchase link in the video description, and many more auctions in the channel storefront. Because sometimes the smallest item can bring the biggest sense of peace.